Hey everybody. Hello. Hi. So my name is Brian Messenlehner. I'm from New Jersey, out near, I live in Wall Township. Any New Jersey people in here? All right, Jersey in the house. So I do a lot of stuff with WordPress. My company, I co-founded a company unofficially in 2001 when I was still in the Marine Corps. I was a programmer for Logistics Command, and we built a lot of custom web applications from the ground up used by the military. So my roommate in the Marines was this guy, Brad Williams. We got out of the Marines, we kind of went our own separate ways, but we decided, that we always talked about doing web dev studios full time. In 2006, late 2006, we were like, all right, let's do it for real. He flew out to New Jersey, and we started the company from my dining room table, and really started focusing on open source. We saw the beauty in it, that we didn't have to rebuild a calendar feature or rebuild a custom login process. Right, open source is great because we were used to building everything from the ground up, custom database schemas, programming the whole login process, how we're going to store the users. We don't have to do that anymore. We could just focus specifically on the client's niche functionality that they need. So that was great. At the time, we were kind of more working with some other open source platforms like Drupal. Not really so much Joomla, but then when WordPress 3.0 came out with custom post types, right around that time, we were like, well, now we could really do anything with WordPress that we could do with Drupal. So let's focus more on that. And then also we started to get a lot more leads. People very interested in WordPress. It's gaining a lot of popularity over some of these open source projects. And the community behind it is the awesomest community of any open source project, right? That's a fact, right? Isn't it? Somewhere. So, yep, Steve confirmed it. So we started focusing on WordPress stuff, and make a long story short, this year's been a very good year for us. We've been doing a lot of work for Microsoft. We launched their Office blog on WordPress, their Surface blog. We're working on their Bing blog now, and a couple other projects. And you would think Microsoft is the software giant. Like, why wouldn't they roll out their own platforms? And they did the research, and they landed on open source. And after doing more research around the open source projects, they landed on WordPress. And we happened to go out drinking at some various WordCamps across the country with a guy that worked at Microsoft. He probably has one of the coolest jobs at Microsoft. He has a job that he kind of floats around to all the open source conferences and kind of checks up on what they're doing. And so when they came to him and said we want to do WordPress, he said, I know the guys. And we got the job, so that was cool. So we also picked up the federal government for a client. I heard they have a lot of money, so that's cool. We didn't do the healthcare.gov site, so please don't anybody throw a tomato at me or something. But so we got a job doing the National Park Services, like an online internal training system for them, all with BuddyPress, WordPress, BuddyPress, BBPress. So park rangers in all the different national parks across the country can collaborate and work together, take courses, all that type of stuff, which is really cool. So I'm here to talk more about AppPresser, which is a new company that we actually formed this year. January 7th is when we actually launched. So let me tell you a little bit about how AppPresser came to be. We had this project with the YMCAs in New York City where they wanted to do an iPad-based kiosk where members would walk into the Y and they would scan their ID card, right? Actually, let me hook up my computer here. I'll show you guys part of the UI. So yeah, we built this whole badging system for achievements, unlocking achievements and stuff for the New York City Department of Education for about 20 high schools in New York City, where kids could learn digital literacy online. And it was this really cool system where they take different quests, and then depending on what quests that they unlock badges, and depending on what badges they unlock different levels. And it's kind of like a fun, engaging way for them to learn in school. So that project led to the project with the YMCAs, and I'll show you basically what they want to do. probably can't really hear this that good, but so they had this initiative to fight childhood obesity, and they wanted kids to be engaged. So they wanted to use our badging platform so these kids can come in there and take different challenges. A weightlifting challenge, a basketball challenge. Maybe if the kid goes swimming every single hour of the day for 7 days a week for the whole month, and they get the Michael Phelps badge. So yeah, so here's the actual iPad-based kiosk.
They can then explore by tapping around on the screen and see what.
So it looks like a regular native iOS app, right? But the truth of the matter is, it's all WordPress that's powering this. It's just a responsive design. And it's a mobile hybrid. So this was kind of an interesting concept when we were first, starting to build this off. We're like, how are we going to do this, right? They want to use WordPress, this whole system that we just, invest a lot of time and money building this whole badging system, but they wanted it in an iPad. So we were like, all right, let's build this, let's make it happen, build this mobile hybrid application. So that was the first instance of that. They loved it. It was really cool. It was all powered by WordPress, which is super cool. So that led to another job with the Dallas Museum of Art, where they kind of had the same exact concept, except for they wanted to place multiple kiosks throughout the museum, like one in front of each exhibit, say.
DMA Friends is a free.
Let me just skip to the UI here.
And you'll be able to use your new DMA credit card to log in. All you need to sign up to be a DMA friend is your first and last name and an email address. Your email address allows you to log in to your DMA Friends account and enables the DMA to share information about the DMA Friends program with you, like new rewards and badges. Sharing your mobile number with the DMA Friends is optional, but enables you to use the program in new ways. You can use text messaging to check in when you visit the museum and galleries, as well as...
So, really cool stuff, right? We're building mobile apps with WordPress, essentially. And there wasn't too many people doing this. If you guys want to go check this out later, you can see more information about it at badgeos.org and the overall badging system that we built. So they're using it quite a few different places. A couple different schools are using it. Smithsonian is using it, which is cool. So yeah, so around the time when we finished the Dallas Museum of Art project, we were like, man, it would be so cool if somebody had a framework that would allow anybody that is used to building stuff with WordPress to be able to build these hybrid mobile applications. And that's where AppPresser was formed. Has anybody heard of PhoneGap? So for those of you that don't know what PhoneGap is, basically like how WordPress is open source for building websites, PhoneGap is open source for building mobile apps. And the idea is that if you build the mobile application one time, then it works across all the platforms, right? So you don't have to hire an iOS team to build, an Apple app or an iPhone, iPad app. You don't have to hire an Android developer to build an Android app and Windows and so on. Even though, obviously iPhone and Android are the two biggest ones. So that's kind of the idea behind PhoneGap. So basically what we did was we just built a bridge between WordPress and PhoneGap. Just made sense. So this is the AppPresser website. So if you're interested in AppPresser, you can go to apppresser.com. You can watch the quick little video that kind of shows off, what it does. And we have a free plugin, right? Kind of the same model as WooCommerce, right? Like how your plugin, your initial plugin is free, and then you have all these paid extensions. So we kind of followed that model. It seems to be working very well for you guys and for a lot of other people. So we have these different various bundles right now that we're selling. So we have a starter bundle that has the app theme, the app push extension for sending push notifications through your app. We have the agency bundle. This is probably our best bundle. You have access to all of our extensions now that we have, and any extensions that we'll have in the future. You have the app theme. You have the App Woo extension, which connects to WooCommerce for building the shopping cart app. You have the app camera extension, which connects to the native device camera. So you can take pictures, retrieve pictures from your photo library. App Swiper is a nice little swiping feature extension. App Push for sending push notifications. App Buddy, which is a new one we just released that connects to BuddyPress for building a social network app. And there's a couple more. We also have the e-commerce bundle for $250, and you get App Theme, the App Woo extension, App Camera, and the App Swiper. So I wanted to do a little informal kind of thing, and I wanted to build an actual app in real time. So I had a couple ideas of an app to build, right? Social network app. But after seeing Steve's BuddyPress site for New York City, I wanted to ask Steve if you wanted to appify that site and turn it into a mobile app.
I would.
You would, but no, but do you want to?
I do want to. I think it would be
Do you want to right now?
Now is the best time. Now's the perfect time.
Now's the perfect time?
We should do it now.
All right, so we'll need FTP access.
Oh, that's
What if you could set me up as an admin right now, I can go in and install the plugins that we'll need to do it.
Okay.
Oh, so just set me up with an account then so I don't log into all your banking stuff. So now I'm gonna hook up my phone. So this is the House of Rags. They had a website that was a WooCommerce based site, right, where they're selling women's clothing. And so they spent a lot of time, money, setting up their website exactly how they wanted it. And they wanted to take it to the next level and start deploying iOS and Android apps into the stores, the app stores. So they got some quotes for building an iOS app, and I think they said their quote was around like 50 grand. And basically they just want to duplicate the functionality that their WordPress site already has. And then they got an Android quote, and it was the same type of deal, right? 50, 60 grand for an app. And when you're building these apps, the biggest part is communicating the data back and forth, right? So with AppPresser, I think they bought our agency bundle for $250, and they set up this app. And it's all ran through WordPress and WooCommerce. So it's kind of built for them. So it actually it cost them more money and took more time for them to get the Apple developer license and wait for them to approve the app than it did for them to actually build their app. And you can kind of see, it has some nice features. I can get the menu, and this is all controlled from whatever menu that you set up on the back end in AppPresser. I can come in here, let's say, that looks like a nice shirt. I would probably wear that, not. But I could add this to the cart, which is cool. I could then go view the cart. I could put in my coupon code if I have one, or proceed directly to the checkout. And then I would put all my information in here and put in my credit card information and actually make this purchase directly through the app. So what this has done for them, for House of Rags, is just created more doors, right, for people to get to the products that they're selling through these app stores, which is pretty cool. There's also a feature, if you have our App Woo extension and our App Camera extension, WooCommerce has like a built-in customer image feature, right, where customers can upload, maybe somebody wearing that shirt, right? It would be me wearing that shirt right there, and I would upload it to the app. So using my native device camera, so I could take like a selfie with the shirt on and tag it, boom, 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 and it's up there. So that's pretty cool. That's more of an app or e-commerce type app, but we also have this our new BuddyPress extension, App Buddy, and this is for this is an app that you could all go download right now if you wanted to, called WP Armchair. And some of you might be familiar with the actual site. Oops, lost the feed here. Has anybody been to WP Armchair before or know what it is? So basically everybody knows what WordCamps are, right? Steve was just talking about WordCamp in New York City. Everybody that's in this room should go to it. But obviously you can't make every single WordCamp. And you can go on Twitter and you could search for hashtags, WC NYC, or you can go on Facebook and search for WC NYC or Instagram. So WP Armchair just kind of aggregates that hashtag or any hashtag that you want into one spot. So the guy, David Bissett, actually, he runs WordCamp Miami. He's working on a couple of these different WordCamp sites that aggregate all this content. So what we did was we wrapped BuddyPress around it. So now you have an activity feed. People could join. I have my profile, right? I can go back to activity. I can take a picture. WP NYC. You want to use my laptop? So now I'll click this. I'll take a photo, so it opens up, the camera on the device, and smile, all you beautiful New Yorkers. Use that photo. It uploads a little display of it, and then I could post it. And there it is. So this is really cool and powerful because basically this is a Facebook type application, mobile application, right? Or Instagram or any type of big social network application that you see out there that costs a shit ton of money. You could build it just by installing a couple plugins, which is really powerful. All the same features that are in BuddyPress are in here, and this is what I'm hoping to hook up on the New York City BuddyPress site. Then I have one last app to show you, and this is the next generation of what we're doing with AppPresser. Is going to be a lot more locally saved data, or a hybrid model to where when you are connected to the internet, it'll go out to your WordPress site, grab all the data that's needed, all the images, all the posts, custom post type data, metadata, whatever you have, whatever you need, and it'll save all that stuff locally. So when you're not online, as soon as you switch over to airplane mode, you could still interact with your app. And then when you go back online, if you made any changes or anything, it would update the main site. So another one I have is, where'd it go? The Dradcast, which is, this is my partner right here on the side with the bald head. That's Brad Williams. We're the guys that started web dev back in the day. And this is Dre, or Armetta. He's one of the guys from Securi. You guys should check them out if you ever need any security stuff. They do a lot of malware detection. And you definitely don't want Viagra or ads or Rolex watch ads showing up on your website or apps. So check them out. But this is a simple app to demonstrate local storage. Right? It has a couple. Just a soundboard basically of their different stuff from the show. Then I could show an archive. Right now I'm online, so it shows the actual YouTube videos. If I wasn't online, it would show the MP3s that are stored on the device, which is really cool. Any questions so far about AppPresser? That's not going to throw us into a whole side tangent. Yeah.
So that's just what UI view, running the native app, and it's basically like a browser window.
Yeah, it's just a a hybrid wrapper, like a mobile app or a web view. Right. And so the next generation of what we're doing with AppPresser is more like local stuff and handling everything that way, like a traditional native app. Yeah.
In the book reviews on Amazon, there were people complaining that they couldn't see enough source code. Is that changed from the time they...
You're talking about my book?
Yeah.
I think you're talking about SchoolPress. So SchoolPress, we talked a lot about in the book. It was a concept for education, right? Getting teachers that, a lot of school websites are terrible, right? They're almost worse than lawyer websites. And the idea behind SchoolPress is that teachers that maybe a lot of these teachers and students are already using WordPress, they can kind of break away and start using a lot of the features built into BuddyPress, where they could set up a group for their class and get their students on board. So,
where can we see examples of what you're talking about now?
Where I'm talking about right now?
Whether it's from the book, whether it's what the book refers to, whether it's school press or this.
Yeah, so the
What's
book,
the best place to look for?
yeah, so from my book is called Building Web Apps with WordPress. Yeah, actually, if you want to hold it up, that's it right there. And it's all about building applications with WordPress. You know, WordPress is more than just a blog, it's a CMS, or WordPress is more than just a CMS. It's a social network or an e-commerce system or, you know, mobile apps. But to answer your question, the book example code is in GitHub. We're about to open the doors to SchoolPress because SchoolPress is, our idea behind SchoolPress is much bigger than what the book is or what we're talking about in the book. And we're working with some schools in New Jersey right now along with some of that code and stuff like that. So we're going to release all that stuff. We're working on a project right now with Newark Public Schools. They have about 71 sites, or school sites, and we're going to build the whole platform, and then we're going to make the whole system that we built for the schools open source for everybody, which will be really cool, and hopefully, you know, get more schools and stuff on board with WordPress specifically. Yeah. All right. So does that answer your question, sir? Yeah. So back to this. So let's set up. We have wpnyc.org, which if you guys aren't already on there, you should all go sign up right now. So again, that's wpnyc.org. And if we go out to the front end of this, let's see what it looks like here. And if you go to register, you guys could start signing up. So this is actually the free plugin that we're talking about. So you could install this and build a mobile app. You know, if you were a programmer or if you had money and hired a programmer, you could build whatever you want basically with this on top of this framework. Or if you don't want to do that, you could just go buy the extensions. So let's go install the plugin. Here it is. Install it now. Okay. Are we good?
Yeah.
And this is also on, I know it's on WP Engine, which is good. They're really fast. They cache everything. Sometimes they even overcache things. I'm sure you already took care of that with BuddyPress, right? Or do you have any custom like BuddyPress activity loops or anything?
No, it should be working. That would be perfect. I'm fine going through application.
So we're going to activate the plugin. And here it is down here. So by itself, we don't really have a lot going on. We could designate what app theme, what responsive theme that we want to use for our app. We have only these themes right now. So what we're going to go do is we're going to go to Appearance, Themes. Is this a multi-site network? No. Okay. So we'll go to Add New. And we're going to upload a theme. And it just so happens that I have the theme that we need to upload. So we're going to install this theme, but we're not going to activate it, right? Because we want the main public-facing website to be the main public-facing website. And we only want to use this responsive theme, app theme, for our application itself. So now that we have that activated, we can go back to App Presser, Settings. And now in that drop-down box, I should see App Theme right here, right? So
Is that theme readily available too?
it's we sell it in our store, yeah, in our app store. So it's an extension that you have to get, or you can get it in one of the bundles. You could also set a unique homepage for your app just by looking. And what we usually do when we're building an app is we'll create a whole separate set of pages that are specifically, for the app. But for this one, what do you have, like a home, home? I'll make it, since this is basically a social network app with BuddyPress, I'll do activity. Right, there it is. Choose that, save the settings. Now, for admin purposes, what I'm going to do is check this little box, right? And that way, if I'm logged in as the admin and I go to the front end of the site, I'll actually see the theme. And you can tell, this is responsive. If we shrink it down, we'll kind of see what it looks like. Can everybody see that? So now we have, we don't really have much going on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go create a custom menu. So the same way we create menus in WordPress, we're going to create them for our app. Except for we're just going to name that menu something different so we know that this menu is for our app. So I'm going to create a new menu. There's still no like copy menu feature in WordPress, is there? That would be cool. App menu. Create menu. And we could add some stuff to here. Let's add groups. Let's add members. Future meetups. Anything else you want to add to this menu? Suggest a topic. Where's videos?
You all got the you all, I guess.
Oh, let me add these ones first. You all. So yeah, so we'll add caption videos.
No. I don't know. We need a category. Past meetups would be good, I guess.
Past meetups. So we'll add that to the menu. We'll also go add some. Oh, here it's its own custom post type. So we'll also add. Oh, these are each individual video, right? So what we could do for this is just create a link called WP NYC .com/videos. .org. Thank you. /video. And this is the archive page for that. Cool. So we'll say videos, and we'll add that link in. Let's also, for BuddyPress, right, for logged in, we'll do profile. We'll do log out. Actually, no, we don't want them to log out. We want to keep them logged in all the time, right? So we won't do that. If they're logged out, though, we want to add logged in. And I don't see your register page showing up here.
It's sign up now, I think.
Let's see, it should be a dedicated page, right? So we'll add that.
Sign up now is the
Cool, so now we have this menu. I could save it. Now, if I go to manage my locations, oh, you know what? I think I have to go back through appearance. App presser settings. I think this is right. Hopefully this doesn't mess up all your stuff right now. I don't think it will. No. So this might be something that we need to address. So for right now, what's that? I'm sorry, what? Let me just try to activate this theme real quick. Yeah, so this is something that we should address. So, because you guys, you know, an end user shouldn't have to go activate the app theme, set up their menu, and then go back to it. Actually, I know what I did wrong, I think, but we'll set it up through here. You know what? What, you have 2014? Oh. This one?
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
Okay. So yeah, back to here. So click here to customize app colors, menus, and more. I'm sorry, I didn't read it. So navigation, I could choose what I want my menus to be, what icons I want. I could change the colors, you know, just like how you would change any other theme in WordPress. It's all kind of hooked in. So let's change this to, say,
Oh, guess what? It does work. Click on that settings icon. Yeah. Right.
Top right?
Oh, this one. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I don't know why it's not showing up on this one. This should be the main one. Save app settings. So let's go back actually to our menu. And we'll create a new one called app menu bottom. And for here, I'll just do my profile, maybe my groups, messages, profile. Looks good. Add that to the menu. Oops, I didn't save it, did I? So through App Presser settings, click here to customize. Yeah, I don't know why that one's not showing up there. So, all right, so we got that. So basically, you know, the same way that you configure your menus through WordPress, you can configure through App Presser. So I'm going to go ahead and install some of the other extensions now for App Presser. So we start setting this up. So the first one I'm going to install is App Buddy. Activate that. I'm also going to install our app push. So we can set up push notifications for when you know, new meetings are popping up, or if Steve wants to send everybody a push notification to their devices, he can do that. I'm also going to set up the app camera extension So that way with the App Buddy extension, you could take photos and post them to your timeline. And everybody's familiar with installing plugins, right? For the most part. Anybody not familiar with that? Yeah, they're all separate. Yeah, they're all separate plugins, but they require the free main AppPresser plugin to function. And like, you know, the App Buddy plugin requires BuddyPress to be installed and configured to use that. So let's go back to our AppPresser settings page, and we should see some new tabs here for App Buddy, camera, and notifications. So yes, I want to use AppCam, AppPush. This is where you would put your license key in if you want, you know, automatic updates and stuff for the plugin when we update them. So for the app camera, you have a couple different options. Uploaded photos must be moderated first. So if you weren't using BuddyPress and you wanted to, you know, upload photos to, say, a custom post type or something, depending on what your site is, you might want to moderate those photos first before them, you know, just going public. You never know what, you know, what people are going to put on there. Email new photos to admin email. Save photos to featured image, which is good. And then there's also a setting for the WooCommerce one. If you have the AppWoo extension installed, there's a setting to where you could upload the product images. And notifications. So instead of building out our whole like own notification server, which would be a huge project to do, maybe something that we'd be looking into in the future. But there's a lot of work involved around that, so we decided to leverage a company that's already handling push notifications. So there's this company called PushWhoosh. There's also another one called Urban Airship, which handles push notifications. So actually through here, I'm going to have to set up first the developer certificate and provisioning profile on the Apple developer account. So before I kind of dive into that, let me just actually, you know, finish setting up the app itself through here. So now if I go back to the front end, I should see some more features on the activity page. Again, this is probably cached with WP Engine. Let me just turn it off. Oh. All right, anyway, so if I go to Appearance, or if I go back to AppPresser settings and customize my theme again. I think that's the right one. I wonder if it's not rendering it right in the browser. So what I'm going to do now is actually, once you have your your app configured how you want, you know, you could have all these different pages to go to whatever pages in your WordPress site. You know, drill down into a group. I could update content for that group. So what I'm going to do now is turn it to an app. So when you download any of our extensions, you get PhoneGap build files, and you need to make some changes there before uploading a zip file to build.phonegap.com. So one of the things, you know, since we're leveraging PhoneGap, you'll need an account with PhoneGap, and you could either have an Adobe account or an existing GitHub account to log in with them and create your apps. So I already have this the PhoneGap files that needed to build the app locally. So basically, you get this www folder, and we're gonna automate this whole process so it's more hooked into your plugin, into your website experience, so that you won't have to actually go open up a config.xml file and change, your URL, right? We already know where your website exists, so we shouldn't make you have to go in and change something in the code. It should automatically build these files for you, but it's coming along. And then the same thing with your resources. Here's all the icons for your app and the images that are used inside your app. And the same thing there. On the AppPresser settings page, we want to have a UI to where you could upload your icons for the app, right? And then automatically build your build files for you. And all you have to do is download the zip and upload it to there. So this is, I think, the default PhoneGap images. And we'll have to work together, Steve, to come up with some images to set these up for the actual app. So what I'm going to go do is I'll just open up this config.xml file so you can kind of see what's going on here behind the scenes. So I'm going to change my app name to be WordCamp or WordPress NYC. And we're going to go steal something off the front page. Yeah, let me go open this in Firefox so we get back to the old site. Sorry, man, I jacked your site all up. I'm just going to say in here, community app for New York City WordPress peeps. So that's our app description. These are actual PhoneGap plugins that are installed. So we have geolocation, basically all the default plugins, because we're building extensions, or if other third-party developers want to build their own extensions to work with any of the PhoneGap plugins, they could do so. One of the ones we're working on with BuddyPress is takes advantage of the contacts plugin for PhoneGap, right? So you could actually invite people to your BuddyPress social network by opening up your contacts on your device and clicking boom, 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 yes, invite to those people, which would be really cool. There's also, so these are the plugins that are being used by PhoneGap. Then here's all the different image sizes that are being used. And we try to make it really easy, so all you have to do is actually just change those images, replace the file name with the same file name and upload them. So as of right now, you also have to go into this index.html file, and you have to say where it points to. So we're gonna point it to, oops. We're wpnyc.org, and we have this query string app equals 1, and basically what that's doing is it's telling the app that this, or it's telling the website, right, when the app loads it, that this is the app theme that you want to use. So this way you could actually set up a mobile experience for people using their web browser on an iPhone. Could be a separate experience from the actual app experience. So we'll save that. We'll go to back to where this folder is located, and we'll make it a zip, and we'll change this to nyc.zip. So now if we go to PhoneGap build, upload they only give you a certain amount of accounts too that you can create apps on, but you could build them as many times as you want. So you could just keep on doing fresh builds and using them from there if you don't want to sign up for the premium account. So now that we have this app, we have to go to the Apple developer account, the member center. So you'll need to go, if you're serious about deploying your app in the App Store, you'll need to sign up with Apple with their developer program. It's $100 a year. To get approved is quite a process. You need like a DUNS number and all this stuff. Your first born baby's blood type, crazy stuff. So once you get through all that, you'll get into their system, and then you'll be able to manage your apps. So the first thing we're going to want to do is create a new app, right? So we have a bunch of apps in here right now. I'm going to create a new one, registering an app ID. Oh, there's one thing I forgot to do, which we're going to have to change. So let me go back to that actually. If I go back to here in this config.xml file, we want to change the ID, right? So we're going to change it to com.apppresser.nyc. Cool. Or WP NYC. Right, now I'll save that. And I'm going to copy this out. So that way, PhoneGap NYC. Right, now I'll save that. And I'm going to copy this out. So that way, PhoneGap, shit, did I save that? Yeah. So now I'm going to delete this one. I'll recompress this one. Name it again. No. NYC. So we're going to use that ID here. Actually, NYC, and we're going to do push notifications on this one and continue. So now we have a new app ID on our Apple developer account. Everything looks good. We'll submit it. So now that that's set up, I should be able to go set up a new title, WP NYC. Oops. So we'll use this icon for right now. And we're using push whoosh. And push whoosh. Save. So now I have this WP NYC push whoosh application. This is going to be used for sending notifications. I could take this application code, go back to notifications, and I'm going to plug this in. Here's the app code. I also need our API. Everybody close their eyes real quick. So we'll put that in there, save it, should check out. So Push Whoosh has a cool service for actually building your certificates for you. Oops, that's not it. So if I go to WP NYC, configure iOS, all right, so the first thing that we're going to need is a certificate and a P2 or P12 file if we want to do this stuff manually. So we could do that manually, or you can click on auto and we put in your Apple ID. Sorry guys. All right, now you can see. So you choose your developer team. Pac-Man goes back and forth. You choose your app ID. We're going to use this one. And let's set this, configure this for development for right now. Oh, it's telling me you have no provisioning profile selected for your app. So back to the Apple Developer Console. If I go to Provisioning Profiles, Developer, I can create a new one. I could say this is iOS development, app development. Choose my app ID that I want. Continue. What certificates are cool with this? What devices are cool with this? Even for Apple to test out your app, you need to have a registered device. You can't just install it on any iPhone. So they kind of get you that way. Profile name, this is going to be WP NYC provisioning profile. Generate. All right, so now that's good to go. I can download that if I want. I'll hit done. So now if I go back to Push Whoosh, hit save again. Looks good, looks good. App ID looks good. Configure certificate for development looks good. Provisioning profile, make any provisioning profile push compatible. Apple profile, WP NYC provisioning profile, and save. So right now it's creating the certificate that's needed, and I believe it's setting it up on the iOS developer account. And then we'll need that certificate and the provisioning profile to upload to PhoneGap. Cool, so it should be, now if I go back here and upload, go. So it's the first time it loads, it tries to load the key that you need. Obviously it's not going to work because it's the wrong one, but as soon as it tells me that it's not the right one, then I'll upload what I need. In the meantime, I could go to, I downloaded my provisioning profile already. All right, so if I go to development certificates, here's the one that we just created for push notifications, APNS development iOS. So we'll go download that one. And if I open this up, here's my keychain access. And what I want to do is I have a developer one. I think it's iPhone developer Brian Messenlehner from March 17th. So I want to click that, and grab the one that I just downloaded. Apple development iOS push services com.apppresser.wp.nyc. And I want to go to File, Export Items as a P12 file. So I'll do wp.nyc.p12. And I'll make a simple password here. All right, so now I got that. I got my provisioning profile. This should be done. I want to go add a key, and I'm going to call this WP NYC. I'm going to choose my P12 file that I just created. WP-NYC.P12. I'm going to choose my provisioning profile, WP-NYC provisioning profile.mobile provision. Choose that. Submit the key. It's locked, so it's going to tell me that it failed because I need to unlock it with the password. So if I click on this lock, I put in my certificate password, which we just created before. Submit the key. Rebuild this. Fingers crossed. So the process for Android is a lot simpler. Basically, you pay them $20, you upload an app, and it's in the App Store the next day. So there's kind of a big difference there. But of course, you want your your iPad, an iPhone app. So now what I'm going to do, that looked like it checked out okay. I'm going to switch back to my device. We on? Yeah. Bless you. All right, so I got my QR code scanner. I'm going to scan that. I'm going to be able to install it. Loading up. And there it is. We might want to shorten the name a little bit. WordPress NYC would like to send you push notifications. Okay. Request code. So you have some kind of like email code thing set up. Do you want to log in? I won't share it, so you don't have to share your password with everybody. So while he's doing that, I'm going to go send a push notification, test this out, make sure it's working. So if you have our standalone app push, if you have our app push extension in the notifications menu, you'll see push post types. So any registered post types it'll pick up, and I checked off to send push notifications to posts. So now, let me save that. So now if I go to add a new post, I should see a little meta box right here. Send a push notification when this post is published. So do you mind if I publish a test post?
Go ahead. You can only go to a couple thousand people.
For okay.
There's 3,000 people there.
So I'm gonna click on send a push notification when this post is published. Let me make sure I have my volume on so you guys can hear it and actually believe me. So test. I checked off the box to send a push notification when this post is published. And when I publish it, did you guys hear that? So, and there it is. Oh yeah. Oh, people are mentioning me on Twitter now, so it's coming through. So this is a pretty cool use of it. You know, if you want to post products, right? So if you have a new product coming out on your shopping cart, maybe you want to send a push notification to everybody that has a registered device, which would be pretty cool. So so yeah, you'll notice that we should probably shorten the title, right, to be WP NYC instead of WordPress. So here's the start of an app. I'm not sure why I'm not getting my usual modals. We have run into some issues with, other third-party plugins, so I'm not sure. Usually when we do this with a fresh install, everything works great, but there could be some interference with some other plugins in there. So we'll work together to set that up. Yeah, because I'm not seeing my little modal here, or it looks like it tries to be there, but it's not. So there's some issues there. So yeah, let me test this out right now, actually. Wait, I'm the only one that has a registered UDID with Apple though. So it won't work unless, can you log in? Or I'm logged in as you through here, right?
No, you log in as you.
I'm logged in as me through here and you through my iPhone?
Sorry?
I'm logged in as me through my iPhone too? Yeah. So if you log in as you, can you send me a @ mention through like just through the regular BuddyPress activity? So part of the new version of app push and app buddy, if you have them both working together, because the push notifications that go out through a post is kind of dumb, right? It just sends it blindly to everybody that has a registered device. But we wanted to hook it into BuddyPress, so when somebody sends a friend request or sends somebody an @ mention or a private message, that it sends that specific person, a push notification. So we have that all set up, which is cool. So now we have the ability not to just send a push notification to everybody, but to limit it to certain device IDs.
I think I added the app side, right?
Oh, I just got it too. But I had the app open there. Wait, this thing keeps on turning off. There you go. Steve mentioned you in an update, which is cool. So it sends out those notifications. One of the things we're working on now too is hooking up to groups. so that if a group administrator or group moderator, or you could even configure it to where any group member sends an activity post within that group, it'll send out push notifications to all the users in that group, which is really cool. How am I doing on time? It's getting late. All right, so all right, so that's setting it up for an Apple developer certificate. You need to register your actual device to use it. And to do that, you would go to Devices and register your device. I'll get with you later, Steve, so we can register your device and start playing around with it before we actually launch it to the App Store. So what you do when you launch it to the App Store is you create a distribution provisioning profile and a distribution or production certificate. And it's essentially the same product or process, but there's one additional step. When you're done setting up your app how you want it, you go to, oh, sorry guys. And I'll just show you guys this, but not actually do it. I think we're running short on time here. So we would go to, where are you? The application loader. Wait, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm missing a step here. First, we would go to App Presser, iTunes Connect. So you would go to iTunes Connect, you would log in, you would manage your apps, you would add a new app. So we're going to say WP NYC. We'll make this the same. We'll make it the same thing as this. And then we'll select our bundle ID, which is the last one. Right. So because I don't have it set up for production yet, it won't let me get past here. But basically, you come in here, you put in your availability date, your pricing tier, whether you want it to be free or not, discounted for educational institutions, let's say go, your version number, your copyright information if you want, your primary category, so we'll do social networking and lifestyle, sounds good. We want to check off that basically none to all these. We don't have violence, we don't have profanity or crude humor. Hopefully not. WordPress people get kind of crazy sometimes. No alcohol, tobacco, or drugs. So basically, these are all going to be none, right? Unrestricted web access. Okay. Gambling contest, no. Oops, I'm sorry. Unrestricted web access, no. Here's your metadata, so you would fill out your description, NYC, WordPress stuff. Keywords, WordPress, BuddyPress. Apps, support URL. I'm just going to put in wpnyc.org for now. And again, we'll hash out all these details later. We put on all this information. We put in all this information. We upload our screenshots. And then we hit save. And then it tells you we missed a bunch of stuff. But basically, when this is ready to go, you download from PhoneGap Build, you'll download this IPA file, right? The binary for the actual app. And you would open up the application loader app, and you would click on deliver your app. So right now it's telling me that I have none found because we didn't go through that process, but it would pick up on the one if we fulfilled the whole thing out, did the screenshots, the whole nine, and you would be able to upload the binary file, which would get then to Apple. It would go into the review process, and usually what we do is we'll send up some stuff even though the app's not completely done yet, because it takes about a week or two for them to even look at it. So within that week or two, you could really be, tweaking the app and getting it ready. So hopefully by the time that the Apple guys look at it, they're like, oh, this is cool, approve. Any questions around that so far? I know there was kind of a lot bouncing around and a lot of going on to actually get your app out there. Huh?
You have it documented somewhere?
Yeah, we do. We do. Or you could buy my book. It's Building Web Apps at WordPress. Or go to AppPresser website. There's a lot of documentation on there how to set it up. I think we're out, right? We're out of time.
You want to take a question?
Okay. I was going to show you guys the Android stuff, but if you could even half wrap your head around how you get an app loaded in the Apple App Store, then Google Play should be like that. So I think my 13-year-old daughter could set up an app in Google Play. So she might need my help with setting it up in Apple. So should be good there. Any questions, anybody?
How hard is it to build like your own custom theme?
So basically, it's just a responsive design, a responsive theme. Yeah. So.
As far as all the phone gaps and everything, that's all on the phone.
That's all on the phone gap build side. So.
Plugging with all that stuff, the theme is just
right.
Strictly designed.
Right, and actually through on the AppPresser settings page, you could choose what theme that you want to use, right? So we have our default app theme, but if you had another, tailored mobile theme that you want to use, you could use that. That's just ours, our app theme. No. And then the way that you integrate, like with our app camera extension, if you wanted to drop a native camera onto a page, we have a short code called app camera, and you could pass in different parameters that you want. And when you get to that page inside of the app itself, then boom, it gives you an item to where you could open up the camera or access camera or pictures stored on your device. Did you have another question?
The custom hooks and filters, would that be compatible with, I would put that, I guess, let's say, in the theme, right? And then would that transfer over properly?
Right. Yeah. The beauty of AppPresser, or what we want to try to do, is put the power of building apps into people that aren't developers or that don't have the funds to go out and hire an iOS and Android development team and pay them $100,000 to build an app. So the whole idea, principle of AppPresser is that any functionality, anything that you could do in your WordPress site that you would normally, that you would do on your website, you could roll that into your app. You had a question, sir?
Do you have the documentations? Do you have tutorials?
Yeah, actually, if you go to apppresser.com, so we have, under support, we have a whole bunch of documentation. We have videos on how to submit your app to the App Store, to both app stores. We're starting to PhoneGap supposedly supports Windows devices, and we just got a bunch of them to test out on. Obviously they're not as popular as iPhone and Android, but that's coming along too. But yeah, everything from building your app. We have detailed documentation on all this stuff. When to rebuild your application, other resources. So there's a lot of documentation there. Yep.
I have a responsive theme on my site, and I have a business, right? What's the value for my customers? Why would I tell them to look out on my app instead of go visit my website on any device in any browser?
How old are these customers?
23.
23? A lot of 23-year-olds will probably be, scanning the App Store for apps and stuff like that. I mentioned my 13-year-old daughter, she's never going to go to a website probably on her mobile browser. She's always going to download an app. Really, it's just creating more doors to your content or whatever your site is or CMS is about, really. One note to mention about, if you're appifying your site, you need to have some kind of native device feature integrated with your app, or Apple's not going to approve it. So Usually the easiest one is the camera, or if you're using AppGeo, which is our geolocation extension to track users, you could easily put together, we were going to put together a dating site where we're going to track users based on their geolocation and kind of group them together, so you could do a search of, a BuddyPress profile field of single, and everybody that's in, a mile radius of where you are right now, or maybe register the bars as BuddyPress groups and be able to see, who's checked into that bar and has a status of available. So there needs to be some kind of device interaction. If you just have, basically taking your blog and putting it into app, it's probably not gonna get past them. But if you have like a cool feature where, members of your blog can upload photos from their device, then you should be good to go. You have a question?
I was going to say, as far as why make it an app, it's just lowering the bar for what people have to do. So for example, I'll give an analogy. So I have a client, and he gave me an IP phone from his phone system. And I said, why would you use a $600 phone to sit on my desk and get a phone call once a day? He said, because they have to dial 3 digits instead of 7. Right. And then they're going to dial you more often, and they don't have to wait around for you. Right. And I don't have to wait around for them. So it just lowers the bar for somebody to be able to get to the website. Don't have to remember the URL and all that.
Yeah, it does, definitely. I mean, it creates a shortcut right on your phone. I mean, you could do that anyway with a URL, but it opens up the app. And, also a lot of apps that people are going to build aren't just a blog. It's, a lot of, like we just kind of opened the doors to doing custom app development. We haven't advertised it on our website yet, but it's something that we're getting into. Actually, so is there any mobile developers in the room, or anybody that's worked a lot with PhoneGap build or really good with JavaScript that wants to do some work for AppPresser? Yeah? Maybe? Okay. All right, cool. Definitely. No, just your responsive breakpoints, which we have built into our app theme. So if you were building your own theme for the app, then you would have to take that into account.
You mentioned you're putting together a new version.
What's that?
You mentioned you're putting together a new version.
New version of
AppPresser.
Yeah. So we're working on a whole new framework. Basically, it's going to be complete. It's completely new, different from how it is right now. It's going to be a while before it comes out. Some of the projects that we're working on behind the scenes, custom app development, we're actually building out this framework for those projects. So you'll probably see that stuff maybe in like 4 or 5 months from now, maybe. What's that? So it's going to be like right now. It's just the main piece of it is a web view in your app, right? That's pulling the data from WordPress. So that could be kind of slow, right? Especially over if it's not over a high-speed internet over Wi-Fi. So local storage and that kind of stuff is really where we want to take AppPresser. So the next version of it, V2 AppPresser is going to be focused on all that stuff and kind of do away with the web view.
Let's say a learning curve. I said I have an hour a day trying to get up to speed. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, I mean?
An hour a day? Yeah, you probably have an app done in a week, I would say. I mean, as long as you're familiar with WordPress, right, and you could watch the videos that we have and read through the documentation, I mean, we've kind of built an app in just, what was it, like an hour? I mean, so if you had a whole day dedicated to it, if you woke up on Saturday morning, 6 a.m., and got to work, I'm sure by the end of the night you could have it submitted. But you're gonna have to wait for Apple to approve you first. So, but as long as you have all that stuff in place, it could literally take you an hour to get your app, to Apple to where it's waiting to be approved.
I think one more question.
What's that? Oh, discount code. Yeah. Let me give you one. I'm sorry, we're actually using easy digital downloads. I don't want you to see our stats on there, but so yeah, let me go find a discount code for everybody. Sessions.
How long will this discount work?
I think this one is good for. It doesn't have an expiration date, and I think it's active right now. Is it? WordPress. So I'm gonna go. Activate expiration date. Okay. For 30% off, so it's just WordPress _meetups. Can you guys see that? Yes. There it is. WordPress _meetups exclamation point. Good. So we should see a couple sales start rolling in the next like 5 to 10 minutes then, right? Cool, that's it. Thanks, guys.